Men's basketball takes on top 5 opponent.
The volleyball team prepares for senior night.
All this and more coming up on the Penguin Rundown. Welcome into the Penguin Rundown. I'm Richie Giuliano alongside a boss Braswell. A boss, men's and women's basketball teams put together 2 competitive games this past weekend. Unfortunately, they lost to good opponents, though, Kent State and Louisville.
Yes, Louisville, number 5 in the country. They lost to them, but they were able to compete with them. So I guess that's a good confidence boost for the rest of the season. And Kent State being so good, they also put up a fight against them as well. And I guess that's going to give us a good confidence boost for the rest of the season.
I agree with you. And, good 2 competitive games for the basketball teams. Football, a little bit of a different story. And for more on the football team, that's where you're going to start us off.
Yes. The football team traveled to play South Dakota Coyotes this past weekend. The Penguins dropped this contest by a final score of 56-21. Although the Gwins lost, they had some good performances from the offense. Quarterback Joe Craycraft was 18 for 30 with 246 yards passing while adding 3 touchdowns. Braxton Chapman led the Gwins on the ground with 13 carries and 43 yards. Receiver Kendrick Mallory caught 4 passes for 49 yards, and Jeremiah Braswell caught only 2 passes, but was a deep ball threat with 62 total yards and 2 touchdowns. The Gwins' run defense was their downfall on Saturday, as they allowed 327 yards on the ground with 4 touchdowns. The Penguins will be back in action this Saturday at Indiana State. The game is slated to start at 1 p.m. You can watch the ball game on ESPN+.
The volleyball team traveled to Wisconsin this past Friday to battle the Green Bay Phoenix, but would lose this match 3-0. Senior Aaliyah Hughes led the Gwins with a match high of 12 kills out of the team's 33 kills. Sophomore Brooklyn Paya contributed a near double-double with 12 digs and 9 kills, while setter Libby Darling had 28 assists. The Gwins will play their last 2 regular season games this weekend at the Beagley Center. They will play Wright State tomorrow at 6 p.m. and play Northern Kentucky on their senior night this Saturday at 4 p.m. Make sure to come out to the Beagley Center and support the volleyball team as their season comes to a close. And now for more on the volleyball team, we're going to send it over to Dom and Katie at the roundtable.
Thank you, Richie, and welcome into the roundtable. I'm Dom Joseph with Katie Rogers-Videla, and today we're talking about the volleyball team. Katie, as a former volleyball player yourself, looking at this team, they started off 4-0. They now sit at 8-19 with 2 games left. So what's been the biggest thing that's stuck out to you, and why are they at this spot?
Yeah, they had a really good start to the beginning of the season, and then they just went on a downfall. But the big thing was injuries this year. Alexia Burns, their setter, she was doing really good this year, and then she went down with a lower back injury, and it's really affected this team at the end of the year.
So talking about Alexia Burns, the setting position, we talked about this earlier, it's one of the most important, if not the most important position on the offense. Why is that?
Yeah, it really is, because being a former libero, when you get a good pass, you have to have a good set to give your hitter a chance to even hit the ball. But Alexia Burns, she's really helped improve Aaliyah Hughes and Brooklyn Paya's hitting percentages, which has improved the team overall, and when they had those wins, it really helped her. It really helped the team. But yeah, losing her at the setting position has really affected the team.
So what kind of pressure do you think Libby Darling's on now with Burns going out with that injury?
It's a good thing they only have 2 games left of the year, but she's played the last couple games, and I've watched her. She's struggled a little bit, but I don't want to say getting thrown into it, but she has really struggled at the setting position. But thankfully, the hitters have been kind of helping her.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, looking at the libero position, like you mentioned, former libero yourself, Margot Thompson started out as an outside hitter, but has been dealing with a shoulder injury since last year, and now it's really plagued her attacking skills. So she's moved to the libero position, and you think she's made that transition very well.
Oh, yeah. I believe from being a libero, I believe she is the best all-around player on that team. She was an amazing hitter, but because she had the shoulder injury, she had the libero position. She had the passing talent to help the team, because I believe she was the best libero, and changing her to the libero position was the best thing this team could have done this year.
And one of the players that has had to make that transition over to being the hitter while Margot's doing the libero work is Brooklyn Paya, and you think she has a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah, Brooklyn Paya. I believe next year she will be the number 1 hitter on this team. I believe losing Aaliyah Hughes as a senior, I think Brooklyn Paya I think she has a lot of potential. But the one thing I think she needs to work on is her serve receive. Her serve receive, like when I watch her, like she kind of shanks the ball and just loses her focus. Like she just needs to plant her feet in the ground, take a breath, and believe that the ball is coming to her.
Right.
And she'll get the beautiful pass, and it'll help Libby set the ball to either her or someone else. But I believe she'll do really good next year.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Aaliyah Hughes as a senior. Saturday's senior night, and the Penguins are going to lose 4 players over the offseason in Aaliyah Hughes herself, Erin Callahar, another great hitter, Valor Haggerty, and Carla Relitz. And the one thing these 4 players have in common, they're all hitters.
Yeah, they're really losing a big offensive front this year, but I believe that gives the underclassmen a great chance to become leaders and really help them improve next season and hopefully go 4-0 and do better next year.
Now let's talk a little bit about Aaliyah Hughes, because she has really been a difference maker for this team with her ability to attack as difficult as she can.
Yeah, along with that, like, she's a great server. I believe, well, when she gets them over the net, she gets them over the net probably 50-50, but when she gets over the net, man, they're scared to dig off of her serve receive. She's a really good server, so they're really going to lose a good server and a hitter next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, again, got 2 games left. Wright State, Northern Kentucky, these are 2 powerhouse schools that the Penguins have to deal with. What does this team need to do to at least keep it close with these 2 teams?
They really need to pick it up on the offensive end. I mean, they almost beat Wright State right at the end. They were just a couple points off from beating them, but I believe if they stick to their roots and really get the good set and the good hit, because their passing is good for right now. But I really believe on the offensive end, they really just need to get the hits down.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we go, I do want to mention Erin Callahar as well, because she's been a big difference maker as well as a senior, especially with Margot Thompson having to move over to the libero position. So how special has it been for this team to have a player like Erin Callahar really step up her game?
Yeah, it was really good for that, because with her going back to libero position, they really needed a lot more hitters to come up. Like, they couldn't just have that number 1 hitter.
Right.
They needed to have multiple hitters at the same time and have them come in and out of the game. So I think Erin Callahar really stepped up her game this year.
So looking at next year, the Penguins are going to get Alexia Burns back, hopefully off of injury. Libby Darling will hopefully improve her game as she has continued to from Alexia Burns' injury. You're going to have Margot Thompson back, and you're going to replace players like Callahar, Relitz, Haggerty, and Aaliyah Hughes. So it's going to be a very exciting year next year.
Yeah, I really think with whoever they recruit this year, I really believe that the freshmen and sophomores right now, they're really going to improve next year, and they're going to start off really well next year.
Absolutely. So that's going to do it for us here at the Round Table. For Katie Rogers-Videla, I'm Dom Joseph. Let's send it back over to Richie and a boss who have more.
The men's basketball team traveled to number 5 Louisville to take on the Cardinals in their first road game of the season on Sunday. Despite standout performances of 14 points and 8 rebounds from junior Nas Bohannon and 11 rebounds from junior Jameer Thomas, the Penguins lost 78-55. Here's what senior Donnell Cathcart III and Coach Calhoun had to say about the loss.
Togetherness. We were together, Like I said, we took a loss, but everybody stuck together, still in good spirits. And I think it's just a learning progress for us.
It's difficult. You go from playing a Division III opponent to a top 4 opponent, totally different in your preparation. I think our bench did a really, really nice job. Devin Morgan gave us good minutes. Jameer Thomas gave us good minutes. Christian Bentley gave us good minutes. Donnell at times gave us good minutes. Tyler at times gave us good minutes. I've said all along our team is a little bit older, a little bit more mature, and then we're certainly deeper compared to the last couple years.
To Louisiana to take on Louisiana Lafayette on Friday at 8 p.m. The team then returns home to host NC Central on Tuesday at 7 p.m.
It was a heartbreaking weekend for the women's basketball team as the Penguins would fall to the Kent State Golden Flashes in an overtime thriller. YSU took control early, leading at the half, but turnovers and missed opportunities gave Kent State new life. In overtime, the Penguins were no match and Kent State would pull away. Senior Mary Dunn and junior McKenna Peters would each finish with 13 points. Junior Chelsea Olsen, who notched a triple-double in the previous game, would only score 5 points and foul out in overtime. Although the Penguins lost, there were major positives to take away. Olsen was named Horizon League Player of the Week for her efforts in the 2 games. Olsen joined Danielle Carson as the only player in YSU history to record a triple-double. Olsen is also the second player in the Horizon League since 2012 to record a triple-double. Redshirt freshman Taylor Pettit scored a team-high 17 points to go along with her 15-point performance in the previous game. These two efforts earned Pettit Horizon League Freshman of the Week honors. Here's what Pettit had to say about the accomplishment.
I mean, it feels good. I mean, sitting out, having injuries, dealing with injuries like the last 2-3 years now of my career and stuff like that, I go out every night and I'm going to play as hard as I can and give it all I got, because I learned that it sucks to sit out and not be in the game and have to sit on the bench and watch from there. So I'm going to go out there and give it all I got every night and just help the team as much as I can.
Youngstown State took on the Robert Morris Colonials on the road yesterday. For stats and info, check out YSUsports.com. The Penguins return home on Saturday to face the Eastern Michigan Eagles and will hit the road again on Wednesday to take on the Akron Zips. Be sure to head out to the Beagley Center on Saturday for the 11 a.m. tip-off. Now we have a special segment for you this week. We're going to send it over to 3 members of the Penguin Rundown crew.
I'm Matt Morrison.
My name is Mike Wolfgang.
Hi, my name is William O'Brien.
And welcome to this edition of Man on the Street.
What YSU football coach led the team to championship titles in 1991, 1993, 1994, and 1997?
That's very easy. Jim Tressel.
Yes, sir. Good job. All right. What Big Ten powerhouse did the YSU basketball team play last season?
West Virginia.
No, want to get another shot?
Is there a hint?
They're from Ohio.
Ohio State?
Yep, there you go. Okay. What former Nebraska head coach was hired in 2014 to coach the YSU football team?
Bo Pelini.
Yes, sir.
What 2 women's sports teams are teaming up to help raise awareness and money for cancer research?
Women's basketball and women's tennis.
No, so it's going to be women's soccer and softball team. What major tournament did the women's basketball team advance to last season?
The WNIT.
That's correct.
Who was named as the first YSU women's lacrosse head coach back in July?
I don't know. I don't know.
The correct answer is Teresa Walton.
Now it's time for Play of the Week. I'll send it over to Monica Kurjan, who has more.
Thanks, guys. This week's Play of the Week goes to Taylor Pettit and the women's basketball team. Let's check it out. Pettit goes to shoot the 3, but her shot is blocked. She recovers the rebound, goes up, drives to the hoop, gets the shot, and one. Let's take another look at it. Peters passes to Pettit, goes for the jumper, but unfortunately is blocked. She gets that rebound. She drives to the hoop once more, goes up for the shot, and one. Unfortunately, the Gwins would lose this game 81-73 in overtime to Kent State. Richie and Abbas, back to you.
Thanks, Monica. It's looking like a good start for both the men and women's basketball teams of Boss. The women can improve to 3-1 on the season, as well as the men's basketball team as they travel to Louisiana and then host 2 beatable teams as well. So I think if they could get to 3-1, it's going to bring a lot of momentum for the start of this 2020 season.
Right, and after they travel to Louisiana, they come back home on Tuesday to face NC Central, and hopefully we can see a whole big student body out to support the team.
Now the football team, they travel to Indiana State. They're trying to snap that 2-game losing streak, and Coach Bo Pelini said that, they're just playing for pride now.
Right, yeah, that's all you can do at this point. With the season that they're having right now, that's all we can do.
That's going to wrap it up here at the Penguin Rundown. For news, highlights, and more, check out YSUsports.com and follow us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. I'm Richie Giuliano.
I'm Abbas Braswell.
We'll see you next Thursday, Penguin Nation.